Hello, everybody, and welcome to this recording that myself and Alicia González have decided to do. So first of all, I just want to thank Alicia for setting up the Zoom for us to do this recording. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I just want to introduce everybody that, who may know me. I'm Amanda Lorence, or Mandy Lorence, and I want to introduce you to Alicia González from Mexico.
Yes, nice to meet you, everyone. Hello.
And we decided to get together because during many weeks of January, and it feels like many weeks, we've been receiving the same information regarding what we label or call the event wave. And it's not just ourselves. You have to bear in mind that I'm in the UK and Alicia is in Mexico, and yet we've never really met, have we?
No. I mean, we have already had some kind of interactions, but really never talked like kind in a deep personal way. Never.
Yeah. And yet we're getting roughly the same information. And so we just felt it is the hour, it literally is the time to give two perspectives, and not just ours, because we're going to bring in just a couple of bits of information from other people in different parts of the world that is also the same information. And it just feels so necessary in 2022, January 2022, to get this information out. And so what we're going to do is we're going to sort of chat about the event wave, and it is just a conversation between me and Alicia, although it does feel like a live, but it is just a chat we're going to have with each other to share the information to you all. So do you want me to start with just explaining perhaps what I received many years ago, and then we can fast forward to now, where we're receiving more information about the same thing. Should
Yes.
we do that?
Yes, that's perfect.
And you just chime in, Alicia, because I love the information Alicia has. I adore it because she has a different background of information. We get it in different ways, similar ways, and I just feel like the two together gives this sort of rounded outlook of the same thing.
The same thing. Yeah. That's absolutely, that's the most surprising thing, that we were receiving the same kind of signs and the same kind of information. I think that I had part of the context, a different context, to put it into words, what I was seeing. And the thing is that we knew back in December, when we first exchanged our numbers. Remember that in December, it was December or November, I can't remember clearly, that we knew that this was going because of a reason. There was a reason, because in relation to we exchanging our numbers, but we didn't know about this until we started recently connecting again in January, at the beginning of January. And then we start, finding these synchronicities, I guess.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's amazing.
Yes, I wish that I really wish that I can give some kind of background or a different context to this that might make sense for a lot of people out there that can kind of grasp what is actually going on, or what does this means to us.
Yeah, definitely. So there's no sort of order to what we're going to chat about. It is just a conversation that we're sharing to anybody around the world that is interested in the sun, interested in the energies that are affecting everybody on the planet. And we can see that in the timelines that are playing out all around the world. But I'm just we've got some drawings as well, but I'm going to show you or try and explain a vision I had in 2014. So people that know me know that a lot of the information I receive is in dream time, but this isn't a dream. This was a vision that played out right in front of my eyes. And sometimes that's how it happens, is my reality just stops and a new reality comes into my view. And so That's what I call visions. So just to explain it, I'll show you two drawings. And I'm just going to talk through the drawing. Can you see that, Alicia?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yes.
Yeah. So in this vision, I was stood on a grass hill. A golden energy came out of the sun and hit the planet. Even though it was a vision and I could see myself in front of myself, I could feel the energy physically from this beam of energy emitted from the sun. There were various vibrations, pulsations, patterns of energy coursing through my body, so many that I couldn't define any particular pattern the way I usually can. The only way I could describe the energy is if you imagined ecstasy and then you times it by 50 or 100, you would have some idea of what the energy felt like. It paralyzed my body at the time, not in a bad way, but in a good way, because there was nothing to do except receive the energy. So that was a vision that I had in 2014. The very next day, I received another vision. So my whole reality changed again in front of me. And I saw this. So let's try and get it in the camera. Okay. And that's an image of the second vision that I had of the sun. What I was shown were different rays of color being emitted one at a time from our sun. The way you could describe the energy was gaseous. It looked not like clouds, but almost like clouds of gas. And then there came this moment where the different colors then just changed to green, the green ray, which is what I'm trying to show you there.
Okay.
When the green ray appeared in the vision, the words, which I can't remember exactly, were, when the green ray appears, you know it is time. That green ray is a particular type of green, which I will show you. And then I'm going to hand you over to Alicia for her to give you her knowledge about, sorry, I'm just trying to find the green. So it's a mint green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like a baby green, right? Or
Yeah.
pastel green.
And it's actually the green within the rainbow. So that's probably a better shot of the green. Okay, so that is an image of the rainbow, but it's when the green ray appears from the sun, that is the signal that the energy is about to be released from the sun to be headed towards Earth. So that's in context. I've shared this information before on Facebook and my YouTube on the lives there. But I'm just bringing people up to date on that perhaps don't know what I've spoken about before. Alicia, do you want to chat about your knowledge of it?
Well, it's like, but what kind of knowledge? The one that is related with all the physics that are about the sun?
Yeah, anything, because what I received was a vision. But you know, Alicia, you have so much information about the sun, and then you have the history of the Carrington event as well, don't you?
Yes.
So there's all sorts of information Alicia has that I just don't have. I just, I'm clueless. That's my middle name, is clueless. So yeah, please share.
Well, I just have gathered this information because I'm very curious and I'm very scientifically oriented, to be honest. I don't know why. Because I didn't grow up in a scientific family, but the thing is that I have been trying to learn about the sun specifically because I also had some kind of well, at the beginning when I start making posting on the page and speaking about energies and all that stuff, I always need to know where they come from or what it is about, just because I think that as much information as we can get, it's easier to understand what's going on. So I start kind of doing a very serious research about the sun and about how it works and solar activity, and kind of following Space Weather Channel and also talking to doctors to know how electromagnetic energy relates to our bodies and how it works on our bodies and what does that mean actually.
Yeah.
So speaking about the solar activity, which is what really matters right now, it has been increasing for the last 3 years, since 2019. But actually, the sun has kind of specific cycles that last around 11 years. At the middle of the solar cycle, the sun reaches its maximum of solar activity. So this the solar activity has been increasing. Sorry, I just get lost because I start remembering everything that I want to share and talk about.
Just go for it.
So the thing is that, the sun is kind of doing things that scientists knew that it was going to happen, but they thought it was going to take a little bit longer. It was not going to happen this year. The solar maximum kind of accelerated. We're reaching it, or we are seeing it develop faster. So what happened in, what we call the solar flash or the solar event, it already happened, back in 1859. Is that correct? 1959?
Is it 1859?
1859. And it was called the Carrington event. What happened is that the sun had at least 5 active regions that created an explosion at the same time. So this created a massive one solar event. That is why it's called Carrington event, because scientific called Carrington, obviously Richard Carrington, was the one who spotted it. And what happened was that this big solar storm hit Earth. So this has already happened in the past. It's not that something that we are kind of making it up out of nowhere. This could be much more stronger because of the electromagnetic and the magnetic interactions in the sun are different. And we have a weakened, that is how it's said, weakened magnetosphere.
Yes.
Like the magnetic shield around around our planet, it's weaker than when it was at 1859, when the Carrington event happened. So if we have that kind of solar event right now, it would be much more stronger for us because the magnetosphere, it's weakened.
It also makes sense that it would be stronger. From my perspective, it makes sense it would be stronger now anyway, because sort of our solar system is moving. It's been moving more and more into the photon belt, but where it is now on the photon belt, it's closer to the grand central sun. Within the photon belt. So this is a lot of information which I'm not going to go into on this, but it's different ages basically. You've got different ages. You've got the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, the all sorts of ages, and we're moving into the Golden Age. And what this is in scientific terms is that our solar system is moving in closer, it's moving into the photon belt, but then there comes this point when it's at its maximum to closest maximum, the closest maximum to the grand central sun. And this takes, you know, hundreds, thousands and thousands of years in a way, but where we are is so close, which is why the ascension is now. It's why more and more people all around the world are seeking answers about themselves and about what life truly is.
No, and actually we are, sorry, we are receiving the waves of a supernova. Apparently, that is what scientists say, you know, that there has been a supernova somewhere in the galaxy that has been kind of creating these massive waves of cosmic radiation.
Yeah.
Obviously, if this, you know, it's like the sun is there, it's a huge mass of burning gases. If the sun is hit by those waves, it will obviously, you know, kind of get strong. Maybe not get stronger, but it will affect it. It will affect the sun also. These massive waves created by these supernova that happen somewhere in the galaxy. And also they have discovered a weird object that is kind of shooting some kind of frequency to the Earth.
Wow,
it's very interesting. Yeah, I haven't dived deeply into it, to be honest, because I think that I already have a lot with the sun, trying to understand actually astrophysics and physics, solar physics, which is very complex. It seems that it's easy, but it is not quite that, because it has many components. But so I think that I am going to start researching also in that this object that they haven't find out what it is. It's something that shoots kind of beams to the Earth. So, but it's like they don't know exactly what it might be. So there is a lot energetically. There is a lot, you know, that our planet is going through.
And it is to say, you know, to everybody that, you know, what we're talking about isn't just stuff that we receive within ourselves. It is being studied in physics. It is being studied in the scientific world. The sun is being closely monitored by scientists. The solar maximum is being closely monitored.
And it is because we are actually waiting for something like that to happen. It's not, it could happen. The thing with the sun is that it could happen tomorrow. It could happen in 3 years. It could happen in 300 years. But it is going to happen, because there is no accident in nature that it won't repeat at least twice. You know, it's like, it can be that there is just one earthquake in the planet's history, and that's it. It has to repeat. It will repeat. If it already happened once, it is going to happen a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time, and we can possibly know exactly when it's going to happen. That's the thing. At least they can see and they can observe some kind of conditions in the sun and the interaction between the solar spots and the active regions of the sun, but they can't possibly know what is going to happen, because they can have control of the whole space weather that we are, you know, like everything that happens in the solar system, everything that happens in the galaxy, everything that happens in other galaxies in the universe. It's kind of very complex to, you know, kind of have under control.
Yeah.
So they can't possibly say it's not going to happen. They can say this is a probability. You know, the probability for that to happen is a 2% of probability. But speaking about physics and astrophysics, 2%, it's way too much. You know, it's not the same. It doesn't work the same. It's up to 2% that it could happen. It's really something to consider.
Yeah. So, you know, the reason what you just said really ties in with what we're really here to talk about, because, you know, this information we've just said, it's something that Alicia studies and is passionate about, so passionate about.
Yeah, obsessed.
Yeah.
It could be more like obsessed.
But, you know, it's like with me, my path has always been, since I woke in 2012, it's always been about energy. And I would never in a million years think that I would be fascinated by energy, never, you know, but it's my path to understand it from my perspective. But, you know, the reason we decided to come on, even though we've just given a bit of a context on what we call the event wave or the solar flash, is because of the information. I mean, it's brought us together, hasn't it, this year? Like, I mean, we both knew that at some point in our future, because we've known each other probably a couple of years, but not interacted. And but we both knew sort of separately that we'd end up connecting at some point. And January's been crazy, hasn't it, in terms of information. That as soon as we did start to connect, the information that Alicia's had in dreams, the information I've had in dreams, and other people, it just can't be denied, can it?
Exactly. That is the amazing part. You know, it's like, yeah, I could have a very scientific perspective, but there is also this part of intuition and knowing, because I don't know why, I just maybe a year ago I started realizing that I was kind of having a previous intuition of what was going to happen with the sun, which was for me at least very surprising. I understand that I am kind of all the time I am monitoring the sun and what is happening, and it could be, you know, like well, I have already done this for years, so it's possible that I just got kind of synchronized or attuned to something. But the thing is that it was also coming from you. You know, it's like we had the same kind of signal, I guess that it could be called a signal, that we can't ignore, because either we both felt like we were just, at least I felt that I was a little bit crazy about this, you know, because it was very weird for me. But it was also very real when I realized, and we start talking about the main wave, the solar event. That was when Veronica's dream came in too. Yes. And that was kind of, that was the weird part, you know, like something out of ourselves that we can control, saying this is the right time to share this information for whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the part I want to help people get into context is there's people all over the world, I know, because I've read or heard people talk about it. So there's lots of people all over the world, and probably some people listening to this later, that have been shown one way or another that an energy wave is going to come, and some people have been shown that in the form of water or wave that way. But it's undeniable that the number of people all around the world that have had very similar dreams in the past. But, and this is the part where it all sort of starts getting exciting, is that you know, I've sat on that information since 2014, even though I've shared it periodically on Facebook and YouTube. But it's this year, it's January, that I've received more information. Alicia's received it. We have a friend called Veronica, and she's received it. And there's 2 other people that have also received information in dream time regarding the event wave, all in January. So,
and all of them thought that they needed to tell us.
Yes, not just that, but they were told in their dreams to tell us. Do you remember? It's just,
that's weird. Yeah, because we don't connect at all. You know, it's like I think that I have talked to Veronica times. Or something. So and this, it's like we don't chat daily, so they might have created all these in their own subconscious. You know, there is no connection at all.
So in terms of Veronica, I connected to her once last year because she wanted to share a dream she had about me to me. And then okay, so should we share the dreams and the pictures? Because
the pictures, I'm just going to get a different lighting.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's just it's cloudy here, so it just all came very blue. And I think that we are not going to see the colors the way exactly they are if I don't get this light.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. So while you're sorting your light out, I'll
Yes,
share.
please go ahead. Share yours.
I'll share the learning dream. So what I call a learning dream is different to just a dream. It's always very, very clear. It feels good. It's just very factual and detailed. The detail in my learning dreams is phenomenal compared to typical nighttime dreams. I'm always woken up immediately after them, and I've learned over the years to keep my phone by the bed and press record, and then record the dream. Otherwise, come morning you forget. So I'm going to kick off with mine, and then we've got some more drawings to show you, and then also we're going to share some messages that kind of back up. It's all the same information, and it's all in January. Yes. And so what I'm trying to emphasize is we've all had information in the past about the event wave, or some of us have, around the world, but it's this year already, January, that people are receiving more information about the event wave, which to me, why have a gap of 7 years if something isn't around the corner? You know, it's showing us, it's pointing us with the synchronicities of all the dreams. It's giving the same information out to people in dream time that something is coming.
It's coming, yeah. And actually, that's the important part. I think that we have been kind of, that is why what I feel about my page and what I do on Carta Astral, which is being kind of sharing all this information. I really feel that at least I am kind of, you know, helping people to get ready for this, to prepare for this, to know what's going on, to know how they are going to experience it, or maybe, you know, based on what I have already learned this far and what is going to happen. Because of course, if this is going, you know, there's already a movie, a very weird movie that can frighten people a lot, because there's always this kind of association with the solar flash or with the event that is going to be something kind of catastrophic. But I really believe that as much information as you have, you know, the less you get frightened by it. So if we are receiving this information right now, because we never do this, either you or me, we never share in advance until it is something that we have already experienced. Then we share. But this time it felt like, oh no, this time you're going to do it before for some reason. So yes, please go ahead and show that you're
so this isn't a vision, it's a learning dream. Okay. On the 6th of January this year, I'll show you the picture and talk it through, because it was, is that okay, Alicia?
Yeah, it's okay.
So this was an animated dream, and I was consciousness, where you can see the eye. So there's a physical eye that just depicts my consciousness, and I was traveling as consciousness through the universe, well, through the solar system, then the universe, and then it got very blurry and I don't remember the middle. And then
it happens a lot.
Yeah, I didn't remember the middle part of the dream, and then I ended up at source, or you could call it God, you know, at the prime source point. Now, when I was given this dream, I was told, or at least I had awareness that I was experiencing it, and this is quite key to understand. I was experiencing it in reverse. So I'm going to try and explain what I mean by that. Is even though I started off here, and my consciousness moved and moved and moved and moved, this was, I don't know where I was there, and then I ended up here, but I was aware I was experiencing it in reverse. In other words, whatever I experienced this way was also happening this way.
The other way.
Source to the planet and the planet to the source. So that was the first part. And then I'm going to show you what I've drawn to show you what I saw at source itself. So imagine the God spark, which is a pulsating light. It's always moving, the God spark. It's always pulsing light this way, this way, this way, this way. So it's never static. It's always vibrating. People can study that later if they do a screenshot. But what I saw were different colored rays of light being emitted in concentric circles out of source. So first of all, say, I don't remember the order of the colors. I want to emphasize that. But let's say, first of all, I saw the orange being emitted as one concentric circle from source. I then was shown the purple being emitted as one concentric circle out, getting wider and wider, bigger and bigger from source. And then I was shown the yellow and then the green. So in other words, if this was source, I was being shown each colored ray, one by one, being emitted in a concentric circle out, wider and wider into the field of all that is. So I just want to bear in mind, before we go on to Veronica's dream, my dream was of the rays of light that we call colors being emitted from the source point to Earth. Okay, and then do you want to share Veronica's, because Veronica is from Uruguay, and my Spanish isn't absolutely brilliant, and Veronica doesn't speak English. So Alicia, you're the best person to explain.
Introduce Veronica's dream. This dream that you shared, it was on January 6th, right?
Yeah, mine was on the 6th, yeah.
Of this year.
Yeah, Veronica's was on, I think it was the 20th of January.
21st. It was, Veronica's dream was on 21st. And mine was at January, maybe the second day of January. This January too.
And the funny thing is that in Veronica's dream, I mean, it's so funny, is she was actually told in her dream to tell
in her dream that she had to tell us what she was seeing.
She was told to tell Alicia and Amanda, wasn't she?
Yes, this is Veronica's dream. This is what she saw in her dream. It's like, oh, sorry, it's kind of mirrored. I didn't thought about that, but it's mirrored.
No, it's not. It's not mirrored. I
can
see it.
It's just for me. It's mirrored. Okay, well, that makes it better. Anyway, these were kind of rays. Well, not rays of the sun. It's like more like gassy things. You know, like kind of emitted from the sun. You know, it's like, different rays of color, but it was not rays either, as I understood Veronica's description of them. It was more like something gassy, the same way that you said, you know, like something plasmatic, something like kind of a gas, but a little bit denser, like more plasmatic, I guess.
The vision in 2014 of it being gaseous gas emitted from the sun. Because what Veronica's seeing there is the sun. I was seeing source on the 6th of January. Veronica's seeing how it's traveling to the sun from source. Yeah. Veronica's seeing the gaseous gas.
Exactly.
And in 2014, that's exactly what I was shown will be emitted from our sun.
Yes, and then after this, there was because what it said on her email, it said, I had a dream with the sun, and then she told me that she saw the sun exploding. Actually, it was like kind of a big explosion from the sun, and then it came to this, you know, after exploding the sun, there was a green halo around the sun. And in her dream, she thought I need to tell Alicia and Amanda. But the interesting part here is that we were actually, after we connected in January, because I posted something and you just reach out. Thank you for that, actually. Thank you so much for that. The thing is that we were talking about this. We were starting to realize that we had many things, like kind of the same messages and the same signs, and getting the same energy and the same feeling about the process and how it's unfolding until now. So as this dream appeared, Veronica said, because this was the 21st of January, I told you about this, Veronica also told you about this, and then you shared with me this dream that you have already shown us, that you had on January 6th. And that made me, that was mind-blowing, because I also had a dream on January 2, around January 2. I can't remember if it was January 1st or January 2, morning of January 1st or January 2. But the thing is that it was like this. And I remember that it was at night. That is something important for me to share, because I live in America, in Mexico. So it was night, and I was looking up to the sky, and I saw in my dream, I knew it was night also, because not only because I saw the stars, but because what I saw was not the actual sun. It was a symbol, a symbol, a symbolic way to depict the sun.
Yeah.
It was a white circle that it looked like something fake, like not the real sun, because I was seeing the symbol of the sun. So at the beginning, what I saw, it was like there was this rainbow colors within the white disk of the sun, just swirling around, and kind of combining between them. And then what I saw after kind of not a flash, because it didn't feel like a flash, it just like kind of like the sun getting brighter, which is different. Like if you, when you just, turn on the light completely, it was just brighter. It was white. It was just, it seemed to be brighter. And then I saw this kind of green plasma around it, that it looked pretty much in my dream like a northern light, an aurora borealis, how it looks, but it was not like, it was also very gassy, what I saw. It was this kind of green, not like the green that you saw, but it was this kind of green. And in my dream, I knew that I needed to tell you. It was very funny, because I saw that and I said, okay, it's going to be at night for America, and I need to tell Amanda that this is already on its way. Because as soon as I saw the green around the sun, the green color around the sun, I just realized that it was the signal, that this was on its way.
Yeah.
When I woke up and I make it was not, obviously not this beautiful drawing. It was a little bit more like a hasty way to draw it. I realized that I saw this because I'm familiar and I have the context of the graphics that NASA or that the space weather scientists use to measure the impact, or to see the trajectory of the coronal mass ejections from the sun. So that is what I was seeing, because I am used to see this. It's like I was kind of seeing a CME, a big coronal mass ejection coming towards Earth, because I knew it in the dream. And I was, the interesting part, it was like, I knew that it was going to happen when America is in the dark side of the Earth. It's not facing the sun. And in my dream, I just made kind of the association, and I said, oh, so the strongest part is coming towards Australia and that part of the world. So, but it obviously, when it happens, it would take at least maybe 6 hours, depending on the intensity. Now, depending on the strength of the explosions, it could take 6 hours, 8 hours, 18 hours, or 3 days. We can possibly know that because there is also an interaction with other magnetic fields created by other plasma waves.
Yeah.
That are coming from everywhere in the galaxy and everywhere in the universe. So the thing is that I had this dream in January 2. You had your dream on January 6th, and then Veronica confirmed to us
Good old
this
Veronica.
message, you know? So that is when we both said, holy, this is something, you know, this is something to really think about it. If we are going to share this information, that actually something is coming our way.
And then, so we've got more lineups of synchronistic people. So let's just look at this. We've got me in England, given a dream in January about the colored rays coming from source to the planet and back. So it goes like this. I was shown it in reverse, remember? So it's coming from source,
yes,
down through to the sun and then to Earth. And then we've got Alicia in Mexico, similar dream. We've got Veronica in Uruguay, similar dream. And then I had an email from a lady in America who, and this was only probably a week to 10 days ago, that she emailed me to say she had had a dream about the sun, and in the dream she saw a green ray coming out of the sun. And only I'm just going to read this to you all now, is 20, oh gosh, I can't quite see the date, but
I do exactly the same. It's like
27th, I think it would have been, of January. I received a message from a lovely lady in Israel, and I'll just read it to you. And it says, good morning, Amanda. I dreamt last night that I call you and tell you that a big tsunami of energy is coming and pouring into Gaia. Yesterday, I went to the forest and I see from the sky pattern of energy that pouring to Gaia, and tonight this dream. So we've got somebody else in Israel dreaming, being shown in dream time that an energy is coming in. So something's up.
Exactly. And I start receiving, as soon as I told the people on Carta Astral that we are planning to make these videos, I start receiving messages saying, you have to put this information out before February 22. I don't know why. They just had the feeling, or the, you know, maybe, as you said, it's going to be the pre-wave that you have been getting the information.
So I haven't really talked, I'll just talk really quickly about the pre-wave, and then maybe we can talk about sort of helping people when the energy comes in, and what's the best sort of way to help in that way. Or is I was given a learning dream last year, which wasn't the event wave. Okay, it absolutely wasn't. It was shown in a very different way. I only shared it today on a Facebook Live, but I'm going to share it here in case people haven't seen that. Just very briefly, in the learning dream last year, I saw this tsunami of energy coming from the west. You see, it's coming from the west, and you're telling me that it's going to be at night where you are, and I know it'll be in the daytime here because of my learning dream in 2014. So last year's learning dream showed a tsunami of energy coming towards Glastonbury from the west of the world. And when it hit, it affected people in different ways. It didn't affect me badly or adversely, but I did hear a voice within me, within the dream, to say, go to the farm. Now, I'm returning to the farm. And I haven't got to the farm yet. I'm busy moving myself to the farm. I'm not there yet, but I was told in this learning dream, go to the farm when this energy hits. And I'm about to move back to my caravan at the farm in March, early March. So everything's kind of tying in date-wise. But the reason I think there's a pre-wave is because the tsunami of energy I saw last year coming wasn't the same as the event wave energy. The event wave energy is very, very different. It will feel fantastic for everybody. It will feel ecstasy by different degrees for people. Everybody's going to feel it differently, but it will feel beautiful, wonderful. And a lot of people in the world won't know why or what is happening, but they will know that it feels wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll all receive different amounts of that energy depending on what our bodies can withstand. But the pre-wave isn't that energy. It wasn't what I was shown. It's an energy that sort of rocks the boat, that will destabilize people. It may take people out of balance, but it's all designed to help them search within them for what's going on. It's going to sort of cause many people enough turmoil to start seeking answers, whether that is about their life and their personal life, or whether it's about themselves and their emotions and their instability, or whether it's about the world and the world stage and events. But this is it's like stirring the pot, this energy.
Yes.
And so you could say it's a bit of a storm, and there's going to be people that are whirling around in the storm, but there's going to be people sort of in the center that aren't affected by it because they are centered and they are balanced. And then you've got everybody at different other experiences. It's all perfect, but I feel that it may possibly have arrived yesterday and I just don't quite understand it yet. But I feel that because of a dream I had last night, and the energies yesterday, I feel it's like the beginning of a pre-wave period of 4 to 6 weeks that people are going to experience to so many different ways and different degrees for everybody. But I'm not 100% certain that this is the pre-wave period. I just have a strong feeling that it is. So I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, and it's actually, it's very, logical, I guess, because for that massive event in the sun to happen, I think that it needs to be, like kind of a this pre-wave. It's like it could be this radiation, cosmic radiation coming from maybe source, or maybe another, I don't know. I can possibly know which the origin of this. You may, but I don't, because I don't, like, it's like the sun is my where I put my attention, I guess. So it might be that this wave that we might be already receiving, it's going to, steer things up, of course, and, kind of rise in the volume so people can actually catch up with the event. Because I know something for sure. If you're going to experience the event on this earth, I mean, going still or living in a physical body, it's because you're ready to withstand it.
Yes.
So if you are, it's not that the event is going to kill anybody. The people who are going to still be here in this planet by then, it's because they are ready to withstand it.
Yeah, they've chosen to.
Yes, they are. This is kind of all the process. It's been getting us ready.
Yes.
To embody more and more frequency and more light.
And you raised a really good point, because the first, so 2012 was a significant point on the mass collective timeline, but the first major incoming energies arrived in 2015. I know that because it was expected, it was spoken about, and then when it arrived, I actually felt it in my body. So that was the very first time I felt energy from it, because it was a wave, a particular wave that hit the planet, and I physically felt it. Now, what's been happening since then is incrementally the strength of the energies coming from the sun has increased, but also, and this is a separate thing to strength, is frequency. So the frequency, as well as the strength and the power of the energy coming from the sun, has been increasing towards the planet. The frequency has been rising as well.
Yes.
And so when you've got stronger energy and higher energy, it comes to the planet. It doesn't just pass by. It literally enters everything. A blade of grass, a human being, an animal, a tree. It passes through the body, literally through.
Exactly.
Now, as human beings, we're designed to absorb it. The animal kingdom are absorbing it. Everything's absorbing it. But absorbing that higher frequency of light into our cells, what it creates is a faster spin within every single cell within our body and our minds and our brain. So we spin faster. It's why people today can't stop thinking in their head. It's like, you know, it's like their brain is being fried because it's chatter non-stop in their brain. Why? Because there's a faster spin of the photon light within the cells, and that takes 3 days to integrate into the physical body, and then you adjust and you feel fine. But then of course what happens is more energy comes in, which you then have to adjust to. Now if we go back to 2015, we were getting incoming energy at first. It was twice a year in 2015. Then it went to every 3 months. Then in 2016, then it went to every month, then to every 2 weeks, then to every 1 week.
Yes.
Now, if we fast forward, you see how it's increasing for us to adjust to.
Yes.
If we go to today, major incoming energy in January just is, okay?
Exactly.
It's not that it stops and we get a day off of quieter energies. No, January we did. In December we'd get a couple of days off and it'd be you know. but you can guarantee that major incoming energies are every day. The only difference is now is what you call high, because what we called high and felt as high energies in December, you know, there's going to be higher energies than that, and higher energies than that, and higher and higher. Why? Because we are all building our bodies to withstand the solar blast from the sun that we call the event wave.
Yes,
so we're building our bodies to sustain as much energy as possible for when that timeline comes.
Exactly. That is also why there are so many people leaving their bodies behind, you know, because they can't, there is, you know, they receive these massive waves of energy. Maybe that is why, you know, there are so many people kind of dying by massively in some periods, you know, since in 2019, the solar activity increased by, you know, it just growth exponentially. We had that, if I can remember well, it was 26 C-class solar flares, only 26 C-class solar flares in 2018. But in 2020, that just multiplied by 4. You know, we had much more C-class flares, much more M-class flares, and I think that there was actually one X flare, which is stronger. Well, it has a different complexity, but it's also a stronger flare. So, and then it risen, you know, in 2021. And the forecast for 2022, it's like there are, you know, like at least 600 to 1,000 C-class flares emitted by the sun.
This year?
Yeah, this year. It's like between 10, if I can remember, it's between 10 and 50 class X solar flares, between 300 and 1,600, 600, sorry, 1,600, that was a bit too much, 600 M-class flares, and up to 600 between 600 and 1,000 C-class flares.
And that's to come this year in
Yes.
2020.
Yes, and in 2019 it was only 26 C-class flares.
Yeah.
You know, so that is massive. The change, you know, the growth of the intensity of the solar activity is massive this year. Yeah. And it's going to be massive. So yeah, that's the thing. Every time that we receive these high frequency energies from the sun, the photons coming in, and they actually stick to our electrons in our atoms, and they just displace them. So that is why the spin, you know, gets faster and faster and faster. So our body is getting used to embody that kind of energy.
Yes.
So it's actually transforming, and it's going to our heartbeat. It's electromagnetic energy transforming into electric impulse. Yes. And we call it a heartbeat, of course. And our heart's going to, you know, it's expanding, and it's getting used to kind of be able to handle that amount of energy. The same, it happens the same with our nervous system. That is why our brains also get just like, I think, very excited. That is why people might feel sometimes that they are just going crazy, because the neurons start firing all over the place.
Yeah. So it brings us on to sort of trying to, you know, one of the things we both wanted to do was try and help people deal with the incoming energies, not just now, but when the event wave does occur. And by the way, I have no idea when.
No, me neither. I would love to have, you know, kind of a huge message saying, okay, it's going to happen this day at this time. The only thing that I can possibly know is that it's going to be when America's sleeping at night for America.
And all I know is it's when the UK is in daylight. So I've no idea what date. I want to make that clear. And I just want to put people's minds at rest, because everybody always wants to know, well, when does this, that, and the other happen? And, you know, I'm not a religious person. I appreciate all religions, and I feel that all religions do have one common theme, and that is to love one another. But there is a part in the Bible that says nobody knoweth the hour, and it's a part that I really truly resonate with. I think that's
me too.
The whole point, is that it is a surprise for everyone, no matter what information each and every one of us might have. Even though I know that the green ray is the signal, and glad I mentioned this, just to ask people not to send me any images of green coming from the sun, because it's not going to be a photograph. My eyes see visually a lot of things that we don't normally see, and it's going to be a physical eye sight of our sun. If you do sun gazing and you transcend consciousness, you can see different colors. You can actually see rainbow rays spinning around the disk itself. You can see that just on a thin spin on the outside of the sun. You can see this rotating spin of rainbow light. But if you go into a higher state of consciousness with your eyes open, you can then see the magenta or pink ray around the sun, and then it goes into purple, and then it goes into blue, and it just transcends and transcends. So it's going to be a green ray. That's the signal, is green. And when that is seen with the physical eyes, that's the signal that it's on its way. And as Alicia says, you know, she's saying it could take 3 hours, or it could take 8 or 16. No, we don't know. I don't know. But please don't send any images, because it's not through a photograph that anybody is gonna, that's not the event wave through a photograph. It's gonna be seen with, some people will see it with their physical eyes, some people won't. Some people might be sleeping. You know, it might be nighttime. But when that green ray is emitted, I've said this for years and I will continue to say it, is I will post that the green ray has been emitted by the sun and the solar energy is on its way. And I will put that on Facebook, and I'll put it on my YouTube wall at the same time, but hopefully before we get a power cut.
And I'm going to do the same as soon as I see you doing that, because the message that I got is that I was going to have a dream with the sun, because I'm very used to see the stereo. I think it's called in English stereo.
Yes,
you know, that the images that are created for NASA and for space weather and all that stuff. It's like the kind of a photograph of the sun. I know that I am going to see that kind of image. I'm not going to see the sun because it's not going to be out there for me.
no,
I am going to be at night. So I'm just going to see that image that I am already used to see, and I will see the solar spots, the active regions about to shoot the energy out. So I promise that as soon as I see that, or I see, in an image, the cross that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, I never mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah. In the figure of a cross, I will let you know.
Yeah. So shall I mention the cross?
I think that, yeah, that might be interesting.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's I wear this. It's a symmetrical cross that I wear around my neck. It's equal that way and that way because it represents so much. But on early stages of my awakening, again, I had so many visions that played out right in front of my eyes as an alternate reality, and I was shown the fabric that it's like a lighted fabric of creation that runs through everything, whether it's on Earth, to the moon, to the solar system, the galaxies, the universes. It's a golden fabric of lighted form, lighted design. And once the event wave has come and everybody is in a higher state of consciousness, they will see this fabric of creation with their own eyes, because it can be seen at a higher state of consciousness. But first of all, I got shown that. Then I got shown the planet Earth. And this is just analogy, by the way. It's not real, physical, as I saw it being animated form, being divided into two halves. So I knew from the information in this vision that it was people were choosing to be love or to not be love. And so the planet went into division, and of course we're in the division. We've been in it for some time now. We are in that stage of the divide. It's absolutely certain on that. But then what happened, and this is what Alicia's reminded me of, is this energy came to the planet like this, and where you had the two segments that were the divided parts of the Earth, a symmetrical cross went straight in to the whole of the planet, north, south, east and west, and it was a golden light. It was a golden light that hit. So we had the division first, which obviously we do have now.
And I just, sorry, sorry, Amanda, it just came to my mind right now. That is how we look the magnetosphere, actually. The magnetosphere, the magnetic field of the Earth.
Yeah.
When the Carrington event happened, it was just it parted into two. It's separated because it's the magnetic field is not a circle. It's just like two circles, kind of creating this
like
interaction.
Field.
So yeah, with that kind of plasma hitting the magnetic field, it would part into two. It just maybe it could be something like could be related.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is the toroidal field of the Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, the toroidal field. So,
and let's
look up toroidal field. Look that up, because we all have our own toroidal field as well.
But it's like a kind of from here, and it comes out, and it creates two half circles.
It's really interesting.
If something hits you, at that point, it will separate into two.
Yeah.
It's not just.
So I was showing this as I was showing this as a storyline of what was going to happen in my lifetime. Okay. But over time, and I was showing this in 2014, I think it was. Now, the golden light then came in as a symmetrical cross, north, south, east, west. I mean, it's a very esoteric symbol, but Alicia was showing me a week or so ago the photographs, the stereo photographs of the sun, and the sun, was it sunspots or was it and there were, it was about 5 in a horizontal straight line.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
And
it's happening a lot.
It blew my mind that you could have such a straight line of sunspots. And I said, well, what if the event wave is horizontal and vertical sunspots emitted at the same time? Because that would match the vision of the golden energetic energy headed towards planet Earth that touches the whole Earth all at the same time. All at the same time. There's no before or later. It's all at once, whether you're asleep or awake. So we're going to look out for that, aren't we?
Yes, I'm going to look out for that, because to be honest, I don't have the knowledge yet to know if that could be possible, because the sunspots or the active regions of the sun are created because of the magnetic interaction between them and all of the complex inside the sun. So I don't know if that could be possible, because I haven't seen that, but I'm going to ask, of course, and I'm going to learn about it. And if that's possible, I will absolutely tell you, or if I see that happening, because it could be possible. I have already seen pictures of the sun with maybe 5 solar active regions in the south, below the sun's equator, and maybe 2 in the upside of the sun, in the upper half of the sun. Yeah. The thing is that I have never seen them align. I don't know if that could be possible.
And it might not happen that way. I just want to emphasize that it might not be, because when I saw the animation, the golden light that came in the form of a symmetrical cross, it did represent in that animation what we call a certain state of consciousness. And I'm not attached to this label, by the way, but just to use it, some people call it the Christed state of consciousness, but it's basically a state of consciousness you can embody in your living human, where you have the inner awareness in all moments of God. And so that's what it represented when I was having the vision, is that light will come into the whole of the planet, and then that is the event wave. That's why it is beautiful, and it touches everybody in a beautiful way, and there's absolutely nothing to fear. And I do want to say there was more to the animation than that, but that's like further down the road. One thing at a time, really, because we can get sidetracked by other events, but yeah, in terms of dealing with the increasing energies and strength. I mean, the strength is getting so strong on the body. We're going to sort of go through our own ways of relaxing, but for me, it is to remember to breathe. And when I say breathe, I don't mean like strong, deep in-breaths and counting. I don't mean any of that. I just mean become aware that you are choosing to breathe, and watch that in-breath, feel that in-breath coming in through your mouth and nose into your heart, not your lungs, but imagine it going into your heart center here, and then breathe out into the whole of your body. And just the breath is key to feeling balanced, to feeling calm, to feeling in harmony. And it's not to do a breath where you're in your mind counting or you're trying and pushing and deep breaths, strong breaths. No, you're trying to relax and you're trying to let go of your brain, which is why I just say breathe in gently, in awareness that you're breathing. So your attention is only on your breath. It's not on the person over there or anything at all, the sky or what you're having to eat. No, it's just your attention and focus is just on the breath. Breathing in to your heart space and then breathing out to the whole of your body, and just keep repeating it. The other couple of things I'd suggest is, Mother Earth, the core of it, it's magnetic. So there's a magnetic core. So if you are able to put your feet on the soil or on some grass in a park, get outside, touch a tree, sit next to a tree, lie under a tree, lie on the ground, just let the earth, she acts as a sort of, I don't know the science, you know the science, you see, I don't, but it's just that the energy comes into your body, and sure, it's going to oscillate, but it can help it calm down if you're touching Mother Earth, because she has a magnet in her core, and so it will help the energy come into you and then come through you to the core of Mother Earth. So if you can be in water, anything of nature, if you're in a city, just go to the park, sit under a tree. Even if you don't have a park, there may be a tree on the pavement, just go and put your hand next to it, onto it, or rest your back against it. And the other thing is just to try and remember to drink plenty of water, because the more water you drink, the more efficient your lymphatic system will become. And so the easier you're allowing your body to balance the energies. So that's my advice, and it's not just advice for now, it's advice for when we do have the event wave. Is excuse me just a sec. Is the event wave, I'm sure this is going to happen, but it kind of isn't the time to chat. It's not the time to be messaging your mates and chatting about what's coming. It's actually, I know that's going to happen anyway, but if really
we do have them, because we don't know if we are going to actually have them.
No. So make the most.
Do you remember what I told you before we started? There are protocols. There are actually protocols to be sure that the power is not going to go off. And so I don't know if that is going to actually be. We are going to be able to communicate. Maybe not.
I do think there will be a time when we can't, and it will be a limited period. But I guess what I'm saying is that the greatest thing you can do is just relax, and that's it. And relax in whatever way you can, because if you're fighting the energy, so if there's going to be incoming energy today, tonight, tomorrow, okay, let's talk about energy and how it affects you. If you moan about it, you're resisting it. So you're putting a barrier. It's like doing this to the energy, saying, I don't want you. But actually your job is to go,
pass through me,
come into me and come through me. And if you allow the flow of the energy in and out, it's going to be a much more tranquil, relaxing, calm way to allow the energy, rather than resist it and get frustrated by it and how it's affecting you. If you can just be at peace with it, no matter how strong it is. If you need to lie down, but don't fight it. Don't get angry. Don't get frustrated, because that is energy you're emitting. And it's like, imagine a waterfall of water, and you're at the bottom going, don't come near me. You're just going to get flattened.
Yeah, you're going to destroy your hands also.
So be like the water and just flow.
No, the thing is that I think that it could help to just remember all the time, besides what you have already said, but remember all the time that our physical body is not solid. It is not solid. The energy is not going to crash, like against your body, and it's going to cause you pain or something. No, it's not solid. It's going to pass through you if you allow it.
Yeah.
And of course, the heart and the brain are going to be the more affected by this energy. Why? Because we are kind of wires of this energy. So if you start feeling your heart beating faster, or having heart palpitations, or maybe it's just trying to deal with it. If you get scared, you are going to put to a stress, more stress into your heart, and that is going to be a little bit harder to experience, because it's not going to kill you. It's just going to be a little bit harder for you to go through it. What always is useful for me when I am having these kind of heart chakra activations, or these activations of my heart, and I feel the organ, I feel the heart trying to, kind of deal with all the energy. What I do is that I start kind of giving it little, I don't know, like punches, little punches, and I start talking to my heart, saying, you can do this. You can really do this. You can adapt to this. And I visualize my heart, just like dealing with it. Like if it was, I was going to say like if it was something alive, but of course it's alive. I don't know. You understand. It's like talking to him and saying, you are going to make it. You can do this.
Yeah.
And in that helps, at least that helps me center my breathing through my heart, and centering my attention to my heart, and I just stop caring about what I'm feeling and what I'm receiving and what is going on outside me.
Yeah.
So because I think that at the moment that we receive this kind of energy, the most important thing is to be present with your heart.
Yes.
And give it everything you can to let him just adapt to this kind of energy. That's it. It's just that if we were receiving like a thunderbolt or something, it's not going to hurt us, but it's going to be harder to embody and to deal with it if we start getting kind of frightened by what the body is going to be feeling. It's just energy. It can't hurt you. It can't cause you any harm, because it is energy. It's not going to, chop off your head or something weird like that. You just need to let it pass through you peacefully, without any resistance. And that's it. It passes. It always passes.
It always flows. So the key is surrender to it. Surrender, because it's coming anyway and it's going through you. I mean, we've got strong energies all the time now. So how do you want to experience it? Do you want to experience resistance to it, frustration to it? Is that what you want to give to yourself, or do you want to just surrender and allow it to just flow through you? Like Alicia is saying, it's going to pass through you anyway. So it's a case of, well, how do you want to ride it? Do you want to ride it, or do you want to be submerged in it?
Exactly.
And choice. And while we're on the subject of that, about choosing how it's all about how you choose to react to anything, isn't it? And it sort of reminds me of a responsibility humanity come into, which they're absolutely not there yet, but they will. And that is energy responsibility, energetic responsibility. So responsibility for the energy you emit. There's people can put fear into other people, scaremongering, and there will come a time when energy is understood more by the whole of this world, the whole of humanity. And when people will see and understand the energy they're emitting, when they're emitting a fear and passing that fear on to another person, and the effect that what they're saying then has on that other person, contributing to a fear that perhaps they didn't have until this person said what they said, or this person saw the news and went into fear. You know, it's all about everything. You know this, Alicia, I know, but you know, everything is energy. We are energy. We emit energy all the time, whether we speak or whether it's just thoughts in our head. But we're always emitting energy, and there will come a point when people realize that everything is connected, because energy just is, and everything is energy. So it's about trying to remember to not put fear into another person about the event wave. You know, would you put fear into a 6-year-old child about an energy that's coming from the sun? And the answer is no, you wouldn't. And so why would you do that to a friend? Or why would social media or any platform try and put fear into any one of us? Because it's not energy responsible. If you want to do the greatest good, give out the highest frequency of your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And that's how you can help one another get through anything.
Yes, absolutely. Because fear obviously feeds on itself. You know, if you start putting out there fear, there is going to be people fearing something that it's not to be feared. Why? Because it's not going to kill you. It's not designed to kill you. And because there's nothing you can do about it. You know, you can have in your head the worst scenario. You can't go away from the solar system. You just can't move to another galaxy, and that's it. You know, it's that there's and to be honest, that helps a lot, because it's like, how do you want to experience it? Are you going to, you know, let's put it clearly out there. You know, the media is going to use this, because there are also scientific magazines, you know, talking about the Carrington event, because they are seeing it coming. That is what they are doing. But the thing is that the media always, you know, it's like scientifics are talking about a massive geomagnetic storm that is going to destroy the planet. Who said that? Nobody said that. That is not going to happen. Media is going to sell it as a huge catastrophe, or something that you have to fear about, because that is what makes them sell advertisement and sell their stories. And we should, that is why it is important to understand what's going on, and having the most clear information that we can gather, because there's going to be media all over the world talking about this and creating fear. So you are going to be all the time, you know, just being, you know, trying to get more information, more false information, to keep feeding your own fear. If we let them trigger in ourselves, you know, the need to protect from something, you know, or that we need to fear something about this, it is going to be, you know, like everywhere, all over. We are going to see it everywhere. So just don't.
I know that in truth, because everything is possible, and everybody's experience of it will be different. But you know, I guess, you know, we have to be open and honest and say that people are going to react in different ways when they're either aware of it coming, if they are, or whether they experience it in that moment of it coming to the planet. There are going to be people who do go into fear, and that's just the way it is. But if you can help yourself and your family avoid that fear, then you're going to help lots of people allow it to just pass through them in the highest way. And you know, the other thing is that we only receive as much energy as our body can withstand. So if you're in great resistance to energy coming into your body, well, you know, that's you saying no to it. So you're not going to get as much of it. If you're open, completely open to incoming energies, you're saying yes to it, you're saying give me more of it, which is why, you know, come the event wave, everybody's going to be experiencing different amounts of energy in their body based on what their body can cope with. You're never given more than you can cope with. Let's make that clear. You'll never,
absolutely.
whatever you're being given, you can absolutely cope with. It just is a choice of how do you want to experience it. Do you want to lie on the grass and just let it go through?
Enjoy it. Yeah,
because
because it's going to be a feeling of ecstasy.
Because you're tired and you just go, okay, I'm going to bed. Or do you want to get stressed and then spread that stress and fear to your family, to your children, to your grandparents,
to your friends?
Not everyone is going to understand what's happening. So, our job in a way.
I would also want to say something. Not understanding what is going on doesn't mean that you are not going to go through it, or that you are not going to survive it.
Yeah.
Because I am really, I'm completely, I don't know why, I just have this inner certainty that if you are going to be here to experience this solar event, this massive wave of energy, it's because you are ready to withstand it. You are not going to perish in this experience.
No.
But you can have a really, kind of stressing experience of it if you are in fear.
Yeah.
So it's just about that. It's like, you're not going to die of this. That is why we have been getting ready for this moment. It's like the heat has been increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. By that moment, the people who are still in this planet, it's because they are ready to withstand the wave.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody will have their own sort of human personality experience of it.
Of it, yes.
I think, just in terms of what do you help others? Because some people will, I know, I can feel them asking that question, is some people won't want your help, and you need to, even if it's coming and you're calm and you're relaxed and fine about it, other people are going to have their own experience of it, and they may not want to hear what you've got to say about it. They awakened is very different to not being awakened. So we all have different information. Your job isn't to convince anybody of anything. If people hear and feel better for what you're saying, that's fine, but it's not to try and convince anybody out there, because you have to trust their path. You have to trust their choice and their soul and their journey, knowing that they're here too to experience it their way and come out of it too. So there's nobody to convince. Even though we're talking about this now, I have nobody to convince. I'm quite happy with my knowledge, because I've been shown it right in front of my eyes, and I keep getting information about it through the years.
And confirmations out of our what we can feel that we are interpreting, or it's something that is not subjected to what we may interpret or understand about
but
our dreams or our vision.
I don't feel like I have to convince anybody of it, because I know it's going to happen, and I'm happy about that. I love it. I love the magic of it all. I love the design that God has created for it to experience it all in forgetfulness through us. It just excites me, but not everybody's going to have that viewpoint, and that's okay. I'm totally at peace. So there's nobody to try and convince. Just trust their soul and their journey, knowing that they're here too, and they've just chosen to perhaps be in forgetfulness a bit longer than us, and or go through it, in a different way, and then come out of it. But it's only temporary. That event wave is temporary, and once it's through, maybe this is a good way to finish this and wrap this up, is once that event wave is through, there is a period of adjustment. It is 3 days. And everyone will have been touched. Everyone will have been touched by that energy, and the planet, humanity, will never be the same again. And
I think that is what we both know so far about what is going to come after the event, because I know that it is going to be I have the same answer as you do. That nothing is going to be the same. If you ask me how it's going to be, I don't know, but I'm super excited to discover how it's going to be.
And also not the same, not just for humanity, but for all kingdoms. All kingdoms upon Mother Earth. It will all be touched
by this energy.
Yeah. So it's an amazing place to be, and despite all our ups and downs, and struggles, there's times when we do want to just jack it all in and leave, or perhaps, but on the other hand, I understand why we will come, is because we want to be here for it.
Yes.
And we want to make a difference.
Yes, and we are already making it, I guess. Even sometimes we don't there are so many people out there also believing that they are not ready, that they are not doing the right things, that they need to do something else, that they need to, that it's like people just don't remember how divine they are, I guess.
Yeah.
And that if they are part of this, it's because they have an important part to play on it.
Yeah, and just to sort of speak to that about people thinking that they're not doing the right thing, it's very easy for the human to judge itself that way, and say, you're not doing the right thing. But if you could see from your consciousness, you are, because everything is precisely timed. I was woken up in the middle of the night years ago, and a voice said to me, write everything down, because everything is precisely timed. And what it meant was, what was shown 1 year is timed for that time in 7 years' time, and everything is perfectly timed. It's only forgetfulness that thinks it's doing something wrong, and judging itself. So everybody's in the right place at the right time, and when you're supposed to know things, guess what, you're going to get shown.
Yes,
I mentioned the dream time, I mentioned that this week on Facebook, is that everybody's dreams all over the world, we're all going to be shown at some stage the same information. And so it's worth talking to your friends and your family and encouraging them to share their dreams. Oh, what did you dream about last night? People are going to find that they've had similar dreams like we have had in January. But imagine the whole world having similar dreams, and it's one way of that unawakened are going to wake up. Because what happens, the magic of dream time, as we evolve in consciousness, so our dream time changes, because we're embodying more consciousness. This is going to be the fun part for unawakened, is that it'd be brilliant, because it's happening to me, and I think, well, what will it be like for other people that aren't on a spiritual path yet? Is they'll get a dream, and then 24 hours later it will play out in reality.
Exactly.
I've had three of those where I've had a learning dream, and the very next day, within 20 hours, it's happened. And so you can't deny that. That's why it's so exciting. You imagine somebody that's in mainstream or not awakened, and they get a dream that's so clear in the night, and then the next day it happens. Of course they're going to question what's going on.
Exactly.
It's wonderful, the design of it all. It's so inclusive of everyone.
Because basically the sun shines for everyone. It's like the sun doesn't discriminate. It's not like, oh, this person is not doing what I expected them to do, so I'm not going to shine for them. It's like it's there. It's there for everyone, also for the animals. I don't know if you have realized that animals are, getting a different level of consciousness. They are acting like little kids. It's amazing. I have seen my dog, like she judged me like a 3rd-year-old. It's like, what's wrong with you? You know, I can tell her something that is a little bit more elaborate, and she will look at me like, are you really going to do this? And it's like, why are you looking at me like that? You know, and she can understand more complex um, solicitation. Well, I asked her to do or I tell her, sorry, something a little bit more complex. And I know that she's understanding because she does the things that I am asking her to do in a very much more complex way. Yeah, and you know, my cat is learning to open doors, and she's just like, I think that it's like 2 days away from learning how to open her you know, the package of the wet food that she
Yeah.
gets. You know, it's amazing what's going on. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I was shown, I think it was last year, how the animal kingdom, how they will change as well as we will have changed as well. So we all change consciousness at the same time. So there's that, but in between, you know, that and the event now and the event wave, it's, you know, if you find you know, you're struggling with stress, anxiety, or anything like that, just listen to a bird, because birds, the bird kingdom, this isn't an accurate way of describing it, but I don't know what is. Their bird song acts like a portal or a gateway into your higher consciousness.
Yes,
So if
absolutely.
you listen to a bird singing, don't try and analyze the bird singing and listen to the notes. No. Just be with the song of the bird as if you're immersed in the bird's song, because they're actually singing to you. And if you just be still and just immerse with the music coming from the birds, your thoughts will disappear and you shoot into a higher state of consciousness.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
so they act as this sort of bridge between you and your higher state of consciousness, and it's available to anyone. The key is to not listen to birds and analyze or think about their tune or their notes or what species the bird is. No. Just hear.
I don't know why. Because I just realized that about the birds, and it's like mother's earth light language.
Yes, it is a
You know,
form of light language.
it's like
Yes,
it has the same effect like as light language. Or
yes.
that, and just closing your eyes and listening to the
Yeah.
wind passing through the leaves of the trees. You know,
They're huge. The bird kingdom is huge for Mother Earth, because not only do they act as these sort of bridges, like you said, it's a form of light language. It is. That's the truth. It is.
It is.
But they also, bearing in mind everything is energy, they also have had so far a role to play in moving energy from one part of the planet to another. So this is why you have some birds that migrate from one part of the world to the other. What they're doing is they're taking energy over here to the other side of the world. And then you've got some birds that stay in a particular area and they don't fly, like chickens and some forms of geese. Farm geese don't fly, but they're actually layering energy in a particular location. And then you've got some that just fly a short distance, but they basically distribute energy. Birds carry energy from one
They are
place,
super sensitive
and
to
they work with
electromagnetic
Mother
energy.
Earth. Yeah,
Super
it's an
sensitive.
amazing contribution, the bird kingdom, and every animal contributes one way or another. So we will, you know, after that event wave, it is different. And you know, it fills my heart to the point that I could cry, in the sense that they you know, the animal kingdom will finally receive the respect
They deserve.
and they will get treated equally to the human species. There will be communication between the animal kingdoms and humanity, and I know there are animal communicators out there. I know there are people that understand and have that communication, but I'm talking about everyday communication with animals, and we're going to learn so much more from animals, and they will learn from us, but it will be a totally different relationship that we have with the animal kingdom. And I bless the day that that happens and they're given that honor and respect. So shall we finish? And I tell you, is there anything else you'd like to say, Alicia? Because I know you and me will talk for hours, as we do.
Yes, I know. No, I think that we should leave it there because it's too much information, I guess. So I think that we should leave it there. And if there's anything that comes after that, we can, do another chat or something to keep sharing information if it's needed. Because I think that to be honest, that is something that I really feel inside me. The people that are going to experience this massive way are already ready. They have already got the information that they need. Even if this is people that is going to be here in this moment of history of this moment, we are living. I do believe that there are people that even if they are not awakened, they know exactly what to do and what they have to do, what they have.
Will know. Yes.
So I really believe that we are ready. We are ready to just take off. That's it.
It's a beautiful point to make, Alicia, is that everybody will know in the moment what to do.
Yes.
Trust their inner guidance, period. That's it.
Exactly.
Just trust your guidance, and you'll know what to do.
Yes.
And it would be if there's any extra or forthcoming future information, it'll get posted on Alicia's wall, which is Carta Astral. It's pronounced Carta Astral 222 in English, but if you're Spanish, it's Carta Astral 222. So that's on Facebook, and then I will definitely post on Facebook and the YouTube any information I get. And come the actual event wave, when I do see the green ray emitted from the sun, I will instantly post, imagining that there probably will be some sort of electrical disruption at some point to the devices. But it would be lovely just there's something you said before we came live which touched my heart completely, and you just said it, and in it I know, and it sort of says everything, and it'd be a lovely way to end it, is what you said about the sun touching everybody.
What did I say? I don't remember. Sorry, but I speak about the sun all the time. So
what you said was
the sun is out there brighting for everyone, shining for everyone. So we are all rays of the sun, I guess. So it's impossible to not to receive what we are. I don't know if you were talking about precisely that.
Yeah, it was that the sun shines for everyone.
For everybody.
And,
for everyone.
When you think that this is energy that's originated from God, from source, as part of its creation, and it's coming, and we've been shown, and so many, not just us, but other people have been shown that it is coming. Just that beauty of what you say, of that the sun shines for everyone. It's all inclusive.
Yes. And it shines outside and inside of each one of us, because this I like to imagine our heart as our own personal sun, shining out and bright for everyone too.
Yeah. Okay. So should we end our? Well, I'm asking you because you've got the button to press.
Yes, I'm going to press the button. Yeah.
So thank you everybody for listening. I hope that something in what we've said has helped you, and just sending everybody love and best wishes. God bless. Thank you.
God bless everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.